Welcome to What's Up in the Sky with me, Lead Night Sky Ranger Jeff, also known as Star Dad. It's December and the winter solstice is upon us. Mercury rises in the early morning hours, 50 minutes before the sunrise on the 1st, and 100 minutes by the end of the month, going from a magnitude 1.0 to minus 0.3. You'll need a good eastern view though, because Mercury rides the horizon. Venus shines at magnitude minus 4.2, a brilliant object in the hours of dusk. Its phase will change from 67% lit to 55% lit, but its size changes from 17 arcseconds to 22 arcseconds over the month. We are going to investigate a curious object on the moon this month on December 9th called the Straight Wall. It is a scarp or steep slope. Look to the south-southwest about halfway to the edge of the moon in Mare Nubium. Look towards the eastern shore near crater Burt. Officially it is known as Rupes Recta. It is 75 miles long and rises some 1,300 feet above the plain. Its slope is a modest 12 to 20 degrees, so not at all a cliff. But against the backdrop of the crater, it stands out as a black sword with its hilt ending on a small mountain. We are approaching opposition of Mars, which occurs next month. It starts out the month at magnitude minus 0.5 and ends at magnitude minus 1.2. Its brilliant reddish-orange glow is unmistakable. It rises at 20:30 on the 1st and around 18:30 by the end of the month. With so much going on, I'll probably have 2 pages of events this month, but I'll list dates on which you can see some of the volcanoes, plains, craters, and valleys in the calendar of events. Although perhaps not as good as they can be, now is the time to practice taking those images. Be sure to use video and then pre-process the images using software that can extract frames and stack them based on the quality of the image. We will be having a Mars party at the Lebanon Historical Society. Check out their page, historyoflebanon.org. It will be on the 18th from 5 to 8 p.m. Our asteroid of the month is 15 Eunomia, which will be passing through Auriga. It will be in the east-northeast near M36, the starfish cluster, and passing by NGC 1931 and 1893. At magnitude 8, you'll need a small telescope or binoculars to catch it. Make a drawing of the stars in the evening on successive nights and see which star moved. Photography should reveal it if photos are taken an hour apart. Jupiter is the star this month as it reaches opposition on the 7th. It will rise way up to 70 degrees, making it visible all night long at a brilliant minus 2.8 magnitude. Even a full moon cannot ruin its view. Its disk will span a whopping 48 arcseconds, and 100 power will reveal its 2 dark bands on opposite sides of the equator. Look for the various transits of its moons, which I'll list in the calendar of events later on. Saturn rides high in the sky after sunset. The planet's rings are almost edge-on to us, leaving the observer to want more, but we'll have to wait a while until the rings are anything but edge-on. You'll find it in Aquarius to the southwest, heading to the west. It reaches the western horizon around midnight on the 1st and 2200 on the 31st. Look for the brighter moon Titan and the 3 inner moons Tethys, Rhea, Dione, which are significantly dimmer. With some luck, you might catch their transits, which I will list in the calendar events later on. Uranus is just southwest of the Pleiades, the 7 sisters, or 7 lazy boys. At magnitude 5.6, an observer in dark skies could see it with the naked eye, but most likely you'll need binoculars or a small telescope to see it. The Pleiades will be up to 20 degrees above the horizon to the east-southeast at the beginning of the month and heading toward the south as the month progresses. Neptune comes out of retrograde on the 8th. Retrograde is when a planet appears to be moving backward against the backdrop of stars due to our and its orbit. At 2 arcseconds, it's too small to resolve any detail, but be warned that it sets around midnight at the end of the month. The Geminid showers occur this month from the 4th to the 20th, peaking on the 13th. Its peak on the 13th is supposedly 130 meteors per hour. Look to the south around 2 a.m. when the Earth rotates into the cloud of debris of 3200 Phaethon, an asteroid. Don't expect to see so many meters though, as there will be a brilliant moon to contend with. The Ursids give another show from the 17th to the 26th, peaking on the 22nd. Expect to see only about 6 or so per hour until the moon rises at midnight. Our comet of the month is 333P Linear, which is to the north-northwest at 1800 on the first low on the horizon. It will be 50 degrees up in the sky to the west at the end of the month. This comet, however, is really dim at magnitude 15, so you will definitely need a telescope to catch it. In fact, I would highly recommend at least an 8-inch, if not larger, telescope. Our constellation of the month is Cetus the Whale, which will be due south. Our object of the month is NGC 246, a planetary nebula. A planetary nebula is the remnants of a sun-like star that has reached the end of its fusion life. Essentially, a star expands as it creates the higher elements up to iron. Eventually, the fusion reaction stops and the star collapses due to gravity. It sheds its outer layers, which become the nebula. It has nothing to do with planets. The question of the month is, how do we know the speed at which we orbit the Sun? There are a couple of ways. First off, and easiest, is to first triangulate the distance to the Sun, which is about 93 million miles. We know the circumference equation, 2 pi r, or diameter times pi, which comes out to be 584 million miles, and we cover that distance in 365 and a quarter days, which equals 1.6 million miles per day, or 66,657 miles per hour. We can also use the Doppler effect from a well-known star, such as Arcturus, to calculate the shift in frequency when the Earth is heading toward it and away from it in our orbit. Using simple maths, we can then calculate the speed. Here is the calendar of events. Here is your orrery for the month of December 2024. Go out and enjoy the night sky during this darkest of seasons during the winter solstice.